Good evening and welcome to Viera, Florida for the 19th annual Backyard Brawl as the Viera Hawks host the Rockledge Raiders in Week 1 action of the 2025 high school football season right here on Brevard Sports Network. I am Anthony Knockreiner, and joining me in the booth tonight is Caleb Brown. Caleb, welcome to tonight's broadcast.
Anthony, I am excited. Look, as I stated last night on the pregame show, I'm a Rockledge alum, but I followed a lot of these Viera Hawks all the way from their youth football career. Now it's exciting to see them in high school. This is just going to be a fun matchup for me.
Absolutely. The Viera Hawks and the Rockledge Raiders meeting up in Week 1 here with an annual rivalry game. It has gone the Rockledge Raiders' way. They lead the series 13-5. But tonight, I think we've got a great offensive matchup between these two teams, Caleb.
Oh, absolutely. Viera comes in running that triple option spread hybrid. I mean, they run that triple option, but they have no problem throwing it out of there. Quarterback Eric Nelson is great. And when you look at Rockledge has a great quarterback in JoJo Watkins. And when you look at all the weapons, the biggest weapon I would highlight is two of them, Bray Teeter and also one Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell with a big 65-yard touchdown catch last week against Heritage and a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown as well. Elijah Mitchell can do damage all over the place, and that's probably why he's garnering offers from LSU, Mizzou, Syracuse, Florida Atlantic, and many, many more. You also talked about Matthew Ford, Bray Teeter. These are guys, Michael Gonzalez, that are going to be options for sophomore sensation JoJo Watkins. Matthew Ford last week, 3 receptions, 103 yards. They've got weapons on offense.
Yes, they do, and that's what's going to make this so fun. Look, you and I were at Palm Bay Viera last week. We saw that back end of that Viera defense. That front seven, great. They're going to need to get pressure on JoJo Watkins because that backside of that defense, I think as the season goes along, you'll be able to look at first game to how they end up at the rest of the season and be like, wow, that is a nice improvement, and I really like what this Viera coaching staff will be able to do with the backside of that defense.
The Viera Hawks will receive the opening kickoff, and so we will see the Viera Hawks offense first here on Brevard Sports Network as we are into Week 1 action here in Brevard County and across the state of Florida as high school football officially kicks off this week. All the games matter. The records, wins and losses, everything matters from here on out as we race towards December and that state championship weekend. And we thank you for joining us here on Brevard Sports Network. I know we got a lot of great games on the docket. Obviously, one down in the southern part of the state.
Yeah.
O'Galley and Viera as the Rockledge Raiders and the Viera Hawks run on to the field. But really quick, Caleb, I want to get your thoughts. O'Galley versus Vero Beach, a very, very big matchup out of county. What are your thoughts on that one before we get to this one?
That's going to be a real first big, like, statewide type of test for O'Galley. I like O'Galley down there. I think they have a lot of great weapons. Xavier Larice, Xavier Corbin, little brother of New York Giants running back Jay-Sean Corbin. Look, there's a lot of weapons, and what Chris Sands is able to do with that talent is pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to watch because the Rockledge Raiders will see the O'Galley Commodores next week as well. But first, Week 1 action between the Viera Hawks and the Rockledge Raiders as the Viera Hawks, again, the last time they beat the Rockledge Raiders in the Backyard Brawl was 2017, where they won 13-6 against these Raiders. We'll see third-year head coach Tony Gula match wits with first-year head coach of the Rockledge Raiders, John Holmes. Also got a great matchup when you look at defensive coordinator Charlie Washington for the Hawks versus offensive coordinator Virgil Marshall. And then you look on the other side, run game coordinator and coach Tony Gula and Chris Murphy matching up wits against defensive coordinator Brian Helton, who likes to run that 3-3-5 stack.
I'll talk afterwards, but in opening possession, there's a memory I have of being at this stadium, Rockledge Viera, in 2015.
Ball is away, pooch kick, and fair caught by Gabe Freeman, and he'll fair catch it, I believe, at the 19-yard line. We'll see where they spot it, but Viera will get the ball first, and that will be at the 20-yard line.
So back in 2015, there was the Backyard Brawl edition, It was one Trey Nixon's senior year.
Yes.
Coach Lusk is telling our kicker that week, I was the video guy for Rockledge, do not kick it to number one. I don't care what you do not kick it number one. What does he do? Kicks it number one, opening kick, 90 yards, straight down the field for a touchdown, and Viera would go on to win that one in 2015.
A lot of happy memories there for the Viera Hawks back then when Trey Nixon is senior, as they had a fantastic team then, and we will see quarterback Eric Nelson operate this triple option spread that we see here as we see multiple guys in motion, Nelson being one of them. Duke Butler, the back, keeps it this time, and he's going to be upended quickly there by Xavier Floyd, a gain of a couple.
Xavier Floyd, another one of those names I think you're going to be hearing a lot about this season from Rockledge. Likes to come down, great tackler, and he can also lay some wood from what I've heard.
He's definitely a thumper, had 20 tackles back in 2024 last season, as it brings up second down and 7 from the Viera Hawk 23-yard line. Duke Butler in the pistol behind Eric Nelson. Sean Hartman and Jonah Woodruff here in the near side slot. Nelson looks to throw, looking over the middle, and that is going to be incomplete. Defensive back DJ Scott there in on the coverage as the intended receiver was Sean Hartman.
Again, it was funny. We had a chance to talk to Eric Nelson's father on the way in, and he was talking about the pregame show last night. Viera has so many weapons. I was telling him, I forgot to list Sean Hartman, and that's the thing. I would never forget to list Sean because, well, we were very good friends with him and his father, and yet because of the vast amount of weapons Viera has, it's hard to name all of them because every time you think you've got everyone, there's one you miss.
I was about to say, you've got right now in the backfield Duke Butler along with Jonah Woodruff, Sean Hartman kind of playing that tight end up back position as Slade Pulliam, the other receiver here, the near sideline. Nelson throwing it over the middle, and that one intended for Pulliam. That one's going to fall incomplete. So again, testing that middle of the field, and good coverage there by Demarion Manning. Plays with a lot of confidence, so good opening defensive drive for the Rockledge Raiders. The Viera Hawks will punt.
Again, the Rockledge Raiders and that defense coached by Coach Brian Helton. Great defensive coordinator. Again, he said he runs that 3-3-5 stack. There are blitzers coming everywhere, and you don't know when they're coming or where they're coming from.
Sean Hartman back to punt this one away for the Viera Hawks. Back to receive is Elijah Mitchell for the Raiders. End over end kick, going to be returnable. Rockledge Raiders going down the far sideline, and it'll be knocked out of bounds by Sal Orlando, the senior defensive lineman. And the Rockledge Raiders offense will have good field position as they will start at the 49-yard line of Rockledge.
Again, Elijah Mitchell, one of those guys we're going to talk about in the return game. Last week, I believe, had a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown. And, again, another one of those explosive players that we've had the pleasure of watching grow up at Rockledge Youth Football.
We'll see the sophomore sensation, JoJo Watkins, a dynamic dual-threat quarterback, Cam Allen in the backfield with him as well. First down and 10 from the 49 of Rockledge. Handoff quickly over to Cutter. Cutter, another back in the backfield, another weapon for the Raiders offense, but the Viera Hawks defense meets them quickly, and that'll be a loss of about 3 as it'll bring up second down and 13 from the 45.
Sean Hartman actually was one of the ones that got back there and wrapped him up in the backfield around the ankles, didn't allow him to get anywhere, and the rest of his defense swarmed.
This defensive line, you look at Brian Veal, Dylan Price, Jason Harp, Sal Orlando. They can present a lot of problems as we look at this front 5, this offensive line for the Rockledge Raiders. Second down and 13. Man in motion is Teeter. Out quickly. He'll make the catch, turns it upfield, and he might have gotten a half yard on that one. And that was Bray Teeter. And it looked like he had some room to run, but he tripped up on that grass.
Yeah, that's a tough one there because, again, he's just, the line of Teeters that have come from both SBYFL to Coco's youth, they're shifty.
Very fast and able to make guys miss in the open field. And we'll see third down and 12. Ball needs to get to the 42 of Viera for a first down. Watkins drops back. out into the flats. That is caught by Cutter. Cutter turning those legs, and he will be knocked out of bounds. It looks like by Paul Hanna, the linebacker, one of the first ones there, along with a host of other Viera Hawks. And decision time now for Coach John Holmes as it brings up about 4th down and 4 here for the Raiders.
And Coach John Holmes is going to choose to punt this football. Look, John Holmes, a Rockledge alumni, was on those state championship teams back in the day for Rockledge. Went off to play at Virginia. And, yeah.
John Holmes, an impressive resume as we see Michael Arbor back to punt. Clean snap. This one's going to get away, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be marked up at the, we're going to call it the 22-yard line is where the official will stop. Be 1st down and 10. So defense is leading the way here in the opening part of the first quarter. 8:40 to go. No score between the Viera Hawks and the Rockledge Raiders.
And look, that wasn't necessarily, that wasn't bad, I think, for either squad. For Viera, you gain 2 yards from your initial starting point of your last drive, and let's hit the reset button. Let's go.
I was going to say, the Rockledge Raiders offense and the Viera Hawks offense so far wanting to get the ball in space to their playmakers. And so far, both defense doing a nice job keeping things in front. But 1st down and 10. Nelson will keep it this time, and he'll be brought down as a penalty flag flies. And that was Torrey Love, the defensive tackle for the Rockledge Raiders, and he will be also the guilty party.
Yeah, Torrey Love, the third sibling of the Love family who have come through that Rockledge Raider program. His older brother Jordan Love playing at Tarleton, I believe Tarleton State.
Mm-hmm.
So again, another Love brother coming through, and unfortunately he got his fingers around the face mask, but he's going to be another name I think you're going to be calling a lot tonight, Anthony.
Make it 1st down and 5, and I agree, is Torrey Love also the guard for the Rockledge Raider offense, pulling double duty as a defensive tackle, but 1st down and 5 from the 27 of the Viera Hawks. Nelson hands off to Butler this time. Butler turning those legs, leaning on one hand as he falls to about the 29. Gain of a couple brings up 2nd down and about 3.
Yeah, and look, there's nothing wrong. You pick up 3 yards. If you pick up 3 yards on every run, look, that'll equal out to a 1st down. And
Duke Butler last week had a 25-yard touchdown run and a 72-yard kick return for a touchdown at 14 carries for 74 yards. Again, a great back to have in the backfield with Eric Nelson. Again, just along that long list of playmakers the Viera Hawks have. 2nd down and 3. Ball on the far side hash mark of the 29. Nelson keeps it himself this time, and he'll pick up just enough for the 1st down. And that is a total spine and orthopedic 1st down for the Viera Hawks. As Nelson keeps it this time, and he'll get to about the 34.
And you know that's a great job. Look, you didn't need a huge play there. If you're Nelson, you knew you could power your way to a 1st down, keep it, and save that pitch, for another situation. Because you notice Rockledge kind of climbed down. No one was really on the pitch man there.
Well, again, that's the tough thing about, when you talk about the traditional triple option, it being under center, but now the triple option from the shotgun and where you can throw it as well as run it presents so many problems and so many keys for defenses to keep an eye on. As Butler takes the handoff this time, makes one guy miss, he'll be brought down at about the 35, gain of a half yard. Great play there by Raheem Cutter, the young, talented player from the outside linebacker position, doing a nice job bringing down Butler for a minimal gain.
And right now, I was talking last night, this is the key to a Viera victory. Control the clock. You don't always have to put the ball in the air. Take time off the clock because this Rockledge offense has big play capability and quick scoring ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at big number 90, Jalen Vallon in the middle there for the Rockledge Raiders defense. Nelson keeps it this time, and he's going to turn upfield, gain a couple yards again, maybe about 2 yards, 2.5 yards there on the quarterback keeper, bring up third down at about 6.
Again, Nelson continuing to keep it. Wait for that pitch because, again, when you sucker someone enough inside, that pitch comes, all of a sudden, next thing you know, Anthony's calling someone's name as they hit their head on the goalpost.
Viera's rushing attack last week, over 200 yards on the ground. The Viera Hawks would like nothing more than to duplicate that once again, but it's going to be tough to do against this very tough Rockledge Raider defense. Third down and 6. Ball for the Viera Hawks. Needs to get to the 44 for a first down. Nelson, 3-step drop, looking for the middle screen. Has it to Duke Butler. Butler's got the first down and more. Down the sideline and knocked out of bounds, but not after picking up a total spine and orthopedic first down.
Absolutely great job suckering in the Rockledge blitzers. Hit them with the screen, and Duke Butler is dangerous.
Duke Butler's doing a lot of things that you like to see here, and I think we're going to see. I think we got a timeout here. I'm not sure it's an official water timeout or an official timeout from one of the teams.
But while we have a chance, we have a timeout, I'd like to talk about one of our great partners, Total Spine and Orthopedics. Back pain slowing you down? Total Spine and Orthopedics helps people to get back on their feet faster and with less pain. Their minimally invasive treatments mean smaller incisions, quicker recovery, and better results than traditional surgery. Whether it's spinal injections, radio frequency ablation, or advanced minimally invasive spine surgery, their specialists use cutting-edge technology to find and fix the exact cause of your pain. Don't wait to call 321-499-4646 or visit them online at www.totalspineortho.com.
Return to action here, first down and 10 from the Raider 45. After a halfback screen to Duke Butler, the Viera Hawks right now operating in Raider territory. Nelson in the shotgun. Handoff to Butler once again. Turns those legs across the 40 down to about the 39. Gain of about 6.
And Anthony, we're both former offensive linemen. Right now, there's nothing better than just being able to wear your opponent down early and pick up these 5-6 yard gains.
Check that was actually freshman Derek Schmadeke, the running back there on that one. And again, a power back. We saw him score twice, especially in short yardage last week against Palm Bay.
And again, here in our pregame show, another name that just didn't get mentioned here because, again, there's so many weapons to mention.
Right now, see multiple guys in motion. Jonah Woodruff now in the inside slot. Second down and about 4. Nelson keeps it himself again this time, and he'll get to about the 37-yard line. Gain of a couple there for the Hawk offense, and it'll bring up third down and short. We'll call it a long 2.
This is where I think you get Schmadeke back up behind you and let him go get you the 2 yards.
Right now, Zeke Blansfield, the defensive tackle, checks into the ball game at nose guard for the Raiders. Third down and 2. Ball needs to get to the 35 for a first down for the Hawks. Nelson checks the sideline, getting the play call from the coaching staff. Schmadeke, the back in the backfield with Nelson. Nelson hands off to Schmadeke. Schmadeke met there at the, let's call it the 36.
Ooh.
And it's going to be close. Gain of a yard, and it brings up fourth down and 1. And a really big decision now for head coach Tony Gula, but he made it quickly. The Viera Hawk offense is going to stay out on the field. This fourth down and 1 is going to be your 10th play of the drive as we look at the Christy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard. 3:05 to go here in the first quarter. No score between the Hawks and the Raiders. Nelson he's going to keep it this time, and he's just going to get to the 35. That should be enough for a total spine orthopedic first down. And it is.
Absolutely great job. Line up, same formation, make it look like you're going to hand off to Schmadeke. The line collapsed on Schmadeke, but Nelson dug his shoulder in to make sure he got, even if it's just a half an inch still gets you that first down.
Again, great play there by the quarterback, picking up just enough for that first down. And again, against this tough Raider defense, you look at Marcel Evans. You got Cutter on the outside as well. Torrey Love in there right now. You got the linebackers, Tay Harvey, Natavius Blackwell. You got Elijah Floyd at the outside linebacker position as well. First down and 10. Woodruff, the man in motion. Nelson looks to throw. Looking to go deep. And it's almost caught by Sean Hartman. Falls incomplete. Coverage there was by Andrew Coleman. But unfortunately for Hartman, just off those fingertips.
And that's one. Listen, I know Hartman. He's going to go back and say why, because he's hitting 6.
Yeah. I was going to say Slade Pulliam as well as Hartman, both options there for quarterback Eric Nelson. And again, we are going to be about to be on our 12th play of this drive. The clock was at 8:40, and we've already evaporated 6 minutes as we look at 2 minutes and 7 seconds here left in the first quarter. No score, but the Hawks are driving. Pulliam and Woodruff, the receivers to the near side. Hartman, the up back. Schmadeke, the back in the backfield with quarterback Eric Nelson. Nelson play action. Being chased. Looking to throw. Flag thrown. Looking for Gabe Freeman. And Freeman's in for the touchdown. But will it hold? We'll wait for the officials here. We have a flag sitting on the 35.
It looks like it's going to be an illegal man downfield from the early signals.
Actually, no holding. So holding on the Viera Hawks wipes away a touchdown. And Caleb, we saw this last week for the Hawks. 2 touchdowns wiped off last week because of penalties.
Yeah, we did. And this was something that we kind of came out of that game saying is, as big as the score was, it could have been bigger for the Hawks last week because of these penalties. But then again, a holding penalty, coaches might be a little more lenient because, again, that's another one of those penalties of aggression.
Well, Eric Nelson had a lot of pressure coming, and it looked like there was Torrey Love bearing down on the quarterback. And a great touchdown throw from Nelson, unfortunately wiped away, as we'll see Duke Butler now take over at that quarterback position. Nelson kind of off to the side there. Schmadeke now the back in the backfield with him. Second down and a mile. Butler keeps it, turns upfield, trying to find some room to run. He'll pick up about 4 yards. And that is Von Dexter Tyler in on the stop for the Raiders. Viera Hawks offense now facing third down and about 16 to go here. Again, the ball needs to get to the 25 for a first down for the Viera Hawks. Third down and a mile here for the Viera Hawks offense. Trips to the near side. Nelson rolls to his right. Quickly throws, looking for Woodruff, and that one's going to be out of bounds. No play there. It'll bring up fourth down now for the Viera Hawks.
Now, it'll be interesting here.
And we're going to see the punting unit, I think, come out now for the Viera Hawks. A little too far to go for it here as we look at the Chrissy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard. No score between the Hawks and the Raiders with 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Hartman back deep to punt this one for the Hawks.
Look, ideally, if you're Hartman, you'd love to be able to place this timeout call by the Raiders. They want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. If you're Hartman and the Hawks, you would ideally like to get this inside the 15, realistically. I mean, don't get me wrong. Would you like to be able to pin Rockledge at the 1 or 2 yard line? Absolutely. But I think safely, you're hoping to pin him inside that 15-yard line.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to do that if you can. Again, we'll see what Sean Hartman does as a punter here. Michael Gonzalez will be back deep to return for the Raiders. But to go back to this drive, a 13-play drive that encapsulated nearly 7 minutes of clock. And again, you had a touchdown, but unfortunately wiped off because of a penalty. You got to say, even though you didn't come away with points, an encouraging start for this offense.
Yes, I mean that ultimately is going to be the plan of success if you're Vieira.
Gonzalez back deep to return for the Raiders. Sean Hartman, clean snap, gets this one away, end over end. And Gonzalez is going to return it, but it's fumbled, and it'll be Gonzalez who comes away with it. Lucky there. Blake Thomas was there to try and pick it up, but Gonzalez able to save it. And you talked about it, though. A great punt from Hartman is going to be at the 6 of the Raiders.
And right now, if you're Michael Gonzalez, you say a prayer, say thank you to the man upstairs for allowing me to come up with that football and not have to go have the other conversation with Coach Holmes and that coaching staff.
I was going to say, this game right now, the way it's shaking out, both defenses have been able to get stops here tonight. This is Rockledge's second offensive drive, but at the same time, both defenses doing a nice job. It could come down to turnovers. I know every game does, but who makes that first one, that could ultimately determine the ultimate factor here as we see Watkins with a spread formation, Cutter, the running back, to his left. First down and 10, hard count from Watkins. Hands off to Cutter. Cutter goes up the middle, chases it to the sideline. Cutter's got green grass. Hawk defenders chasing him. Cutter across the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, and he's going to go all the way 94 yards for a Raider touchdown.
No flags on the play. What? Again, it came down to the big play, and Cutter said, watch this.
42 seconds left here in the first quarter, and the Rockledge Raiders strike with one play.
Typically, if you're a defense, you after you just sat there on a 12, 13 play drive, you're like, oh my gosh, but hey, now we got a lead to protect. We just got re-energized, and we were only on the bench 42 seconds.
I was about to say that is one of the keys here. Again, this defense going to have to get right back out on the field as, again, a great job by Raheem Cutter. Again, going up the middle, then turning it outside to the far sideline, and it was a foot race the rest of the way, and nobody could catch him. Arbor on to attempt the extra point. It is good, and that's a 7-0 Raider lead over these Viera Hawks on the Christy Lindbeck scoreboard with 42 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We'll send it back to the studio when we come back. More Week 1 action on BSN.
Hello, Space Coast. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support of BSN and allowing us to cover your student athletes and come into your home each and every night. Give us a follow on Facebook at Brevard Sports Network, and here's to many more years of top-notch sports coverage right here in Brevard County. Thanks again.
A one-play drive puts up 7 points for the Rockledge Raiders as Raheem Cutter took it 94 yards to the house. And the Rockledge Raiders up 7-0 over the Viera Hawks as the Viera Hawks get ready to get back on offense, who had a 13-play drive, had a touchdown, but was called back due to a penalty. And I'll tell you what, Caleb, what a turn of events here as we wait for the kickoff. But all of a sudden, as Michael Arbor is going to go ahead on his approach, boot to leather, a pooch kick here. Hartman able to return it this time. Freeman. And Freeman almost breaks it free as he's across the 35. He'll be brought down at about the 30. I think the 38-yard line is where Viera will start.
I mean, look, we were just talking about, what awkward field position it was going to be for Rockledge starting within their own 6, and then Cutter said, don't worry, Coach, I got us. Watch this.
Yeah, Cutter again with just some nice footwork and able to get to the outside, great speed, and able to take it 94 yards. The Viera Hawks offense, how do they respond as they now face themselves trailing the Raiders 7-0? First down and 10, far side hash mark of the 38-yard line. Nelson going to keep it this time, and he's going to be brought down quickly by a bunch of Raiders. First one there, trying to get a number. That looks like 99. Don't have a 99. there for the Raider defense, but a great job there. Again, great penetration by the defensive line of the Rockledge Raiders. So that'll be the end of the first quarter. The Rockledge Raiders lead the Viera Hawks 7-0 here at Viera High School at Viera Stadium, as we've got high school football here on the Brevard Sports Network.
Hey, this is Devon Dudley, and you are watching Brevard Sports Network. Oh, my brother, testify.
Welcome back to the Hawks Nest as the Raiders and the Viera Hawks battle it out for the Backyard Brawl, the 19th edition of this rivalry. The Raiders right now lead the series 13-5, and they lead this game 7-0 here as we start the second quarter. And after about a 7-yard loss, it'll send the Viera Hawks back to the 31. Second down and a mile. Nelson, ball is out. We'll see who comes up with it as it's Duke Butler. But again, trouble with the snap there. And the Viera Hawks going in the wrong direction right now.
Yeah, right now that momentum they thought they might have gained on that punt is disappearing. I'm trying to get the number there on that defender who nearly had himself a fumble recovery. And
it's tough with those white jerseys with that royal blue. Almost need some bold red on those outside of those numbers. So third down and a mile. Ball needs to get to the 48-yard line of Viera for a first down. They're sitting on their own 22.
And I think Gullah calling the timeout there. While we have a timeout, I also like to talk about something, if I can, for a moment. Anyone who knows me and has followed me knows that I've been involved with 7v7 Elite, and, well, a week ago, tragedy struck one of Brevard's youth sports cornerstones. A fire at the Merritt Island U-Haul facility destroyed the entire equipment unit of the 7v7 Elite Championship Series, wiping out $30,000 to $40,000 worth of banners, field gear, electronics, and tents. For 5 years, 7v7 Elite has given thousands of kids across Florida the platform to showcase their talent and earn scholarships and change lives. Now, with a new season just months away, they need our help. Every dollar matters. Every share matters. Stand with 7v7 Elite today so these athletes still have a stage tomorrow. Head to the Brevard Sports Network Facebook page. We have the GoFundMe link. Please.
Eric Nelson back deep, dropping back and trying to roll to his right, trying to escape pressure, throws quickly, and that one is almost caught as Sean Hartman was the intended receiver. And again, almost a huge play. That would have been enough for a first down, but a tough play there, and the Viera Hawks will have to punt it away.
And that's just one of those. It's tough because Sean Hartman did a great job coming back to the football and absolutely almost making the necessary play. Look, Viera's on that cusp right now. Their big plays are there. It's the execution, the finishing off of those big plays.
Well, right now we could be talking about a 7-7 ball game, but unfortunately a penalty took points off the board for the Hawks as we see Hartman back deep to punt. This one gets away end over end, and Gonzalez is going to let this one go. Alec Thomas, the 5-star long snapper, is going to let it go. And the Rockledge Raiders will get decent field position as they start out 1st and 10 from the 32.
And now it'll be interesting to kind of see where this Rockledge offense goes here on this drive. Cutter taking it 94 yards in one play.
Yeah, you said it, 94 yards on one play last time out for this Raider offense. Backed up at their own 6-yard line. Elijah Mitchell, the receiver here to the near side. JoJo Watkins, the dynamic dual-threat quarterback, had a tremendous game last week against the Heritage Panthers. Led the game-winning drive, setting up Michael Arbor for that 37-yard game-winning field goal. As Watkins drops back, and that one's almost intercepted. Falls incomplete. That was Sal Orlando, the defensive end and captain for the Viera Hawks defense, and they're almost trying to pick that one off. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, don't know kind of what happened there. Things kind of fell apart, and JoJo, the ball didn't come out, I think came out of his hand wrong, and that almost ended up being a very costly mistake.
We'll see a trips formation to the far sideline, 2nd down and 10. Camden Allen, the running back in the backfield with Watkins. Watkins calling for that hard count. Hands off to Allen once again, and Allen trips up, and he'll get to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, remember, folks, Viera High School, natural field here, natural grass. There was a lot of rain poured into Brevard County today.
I was going to say that's going to make footing very slippery and everything else. Obviously, we've had a chance for it to dry out a little bit so far. Some good weather here today, or tonight, I should say. But, yeah, definitely downpours all over Brevard County. 3rd down and 10. Ball needs to get to the 43 of Rockledge for a 1st down. Watkins drops back, 3-step drop. Now rolls to his left. Lets it go, lets it fly, and it'll be caught. And that will be Matthew Ford, the receiver, who makes the catch and gets a big 1st down for the Raider offense.
And that was a great job by Ford, realizing, all right, I'm at my spot where that ball is going to land. Perfectly times that jump, comes down with the reception, and that's a big 1st down and a big play for that Rockledge offense.
About a 38-yard gain there for the Raider offense as Watkins connects with Ford. And again, Ford had 3 big catches last week for over 100 yards. A big one there as the Viera defense could have gotten off the field on that one, but now a brand new set of downs and the Raiders operating in Hawk territory. Handoff quickly to the Raider running back, and he's met quickly there by Alec Thomas, the linebacker for the Hawks. I believe that was Cutter there on the carry.
Great stick there by Thomas. Form tackle to the fullest. Put your shoulder in his chest, wrap up, and take him down. One of the things that I'm impressed by JoJo Watkins, his ability when the pocket descends, his eyes are still downfield looking to make the throw rather than immediately taking off. There's a issue with the scoreboard.
All right. All right, so right now they're dealing with the scoreboard as we got a 7-0 score right now. The Raiders leading the Hawks, and the Raiders driving right now, trying to extend their lead here in the 2nd quarter. And the Rockledge Raiders, again, offensively able to make some plays happen. Again, big plays so far tonight. Caleb, obviously the 94-yard touchdown run, but there a big 38-yard pass and catch from Watkins to Matthew Ford, who's been a great target here in the early part of the season.
He has, and you can tell. You're going to hear that, Watkins to Ford, Watkins to – he hasn't gotten involved in the game yet, but watch Elijah Mitchell, again, another big weapon that can push the ball down the field. All right, so we're having issues with the scoreboard. Clock operator is going to keep the time up here.
All right, folks, unfortunately we got 9:34 left here before halftime in the 2nd quarter. But right now on the Christy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard, the Raiders 7, the Viera Hawks 0 here on the Brevard Sports Network in Week 1 action of high school football. Trips to the near side. That's Teeter, Gonzalez, and Mitchell. Matthew Ford, the receiver on the far side. Watkins calls for the snap. 2nd down and 10. Watkins going deep, looking for Mitchell. And Mitchell makes the catch for a touchdown. And the Raiders extend their lead. But we got a flag in the middle of the field. An eligible man downfield, and now the Rockledge Raiders have a penalty that wipes off a touchdown.
Well, okay, so the play didn't count. But not to tap myself on the back here, but literally coming up just saying, look, he's another weapon, and they go to him, and he, again, would have had 6. If sometimes as a lineman, you run that play action, and you as a lineman, you're trying to sell it, trying to sell the run, and you get a little bit ahead of yourself. And
I need tonight's Powerball numbers from you later on.
yeah, okay.
So after the penalty for an eligible man downfield, the Rockledge Raiders will now look at about 2nd down and 17. Ball backed up all the way to the 37-yard line.
But I will say this, if you're Mitchell, you still cut that play out, throw it in your highlight tape.
Exactly. As Eli Mitchell, the receiver on the near sideline. 2nd down and long. Watkins, 3-step drop. Looking to go deep again. Looking for Matthew Ford, who's in double coverage. And
did he come up?
He came away with it. He made the catch in double coverage. A touchdown for Matthew Ford and the Raiders.
I mean, listen, he was sitting in between. That wasn't just double coverage in the sense of 2 guys were covering him. He was sitting in between the safety and the corner that were covering him, reaches out in between them both, snags the ball. That is purely an I want it more ball and an I want it more catch.
Big plays by Matthew Ford lead the Raiders on this drive. And right now, Michael Arbor to attempt the extra point for the Rockledge Raiders to try and take a 14-0 lead here in the second quarter. Snap is low, and the kick is on the way. We got a penalty flag that flies. The extra point is good, but will it hold? We'll see what the penalty is. Curious, will Viera want to just try and take it on the kick return, or will they try and make Rockledge kick it again? So personal foul on Viera. Extra point is good, and I'm guessing they'll probably tack it on to the penalty assessed on the kickoff. So 14-0 now. The Rockledge Raiders in firm control of this one. And unfortunately, we don't know the time of the second quarter, but I'm sorry. Either way, 14-0 Rockledge. 9:05.
I was saying, like, I will bug somebody. Don't think Caleb Brown will. And you know what? Let me say this right now, with where that ball is spotted, I don't see why you don't attempt an onside kick. Look, Arbor can put it in the back of the end zone. You know he can.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the hurt? They get the ball 35.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, depending on where they put this, as we see nobody back deep really to return, everybody up, and this one will go into the end zone, so a touchback, as Caleb mentioned. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Viera Hawks at the Hawks 20.
Although, again, there's a reason why I'm up here with this headset and not on the headset communicating to head coach John Holmes. I personally, I saw a no-lose situation if you try the onside, but I also get John Holmes' theory of, well, my defense is playing great, no need to put them in a more dangerous spot than what we can just manage letting him kick it through the back of the end zone.
Right now, the Rockledge Raiders, and again, you look back to last week, they played a phenomenal first half against Heritage as we see a handoff to Butler. Butler across the 23. And I think that's where they're going to stop him, is at the 23-yard line. Gain of 3, but that's going to be something to watch here, because Viera hasn't quite executed in this first half. They've had their mistakes. They've had their drops. They had a penalty that wiped points off the board, and we'll see what they can do here. Again, about under 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter before halftime as we look at 2nd down and 7. Nelson, play action, looking to throw to Woodruff, who makes the catch on the near sideline, and he'll be knocked out of bounds quickly, but not after a big gain for the Viera Hawks offense. DJ Scott, the defensive back there to make the stop.
You know, you talked about it, but look at Rockledge's game last week. Rockledge played one of the most perfect halves of football in that first half, and then Heritage came back and put 34 unanswered points until the walk-off field goal. So, again, if you're Rockledge and you're this youth, you can't let this 14-0 lead go to your head right now.
No, absolutely not, as we see a big play there from the Hawks offense, a 20-yard catch from Jonah Woodruff. And I think the Hawks, they got to get their playmakers a little bit more involved, and that's Woodruff's, I believe, second catch of the evening. Be first down and 10 from the Hawk 43-yard line. Butler in the backfield, Hartman the up back. Nelson will hand off. Butler examines his options, turns it upfield. Now comes to the near sideline across the 40, the 35, and it'll be brought down at the 31-yard line. A good run by the Hawks running back.
And I want to give a shout out there to the left tackle there. As soon as I get his name, I'll give him his flowers. The left tackle came up and Chase Kramer. He played that perfectly. Let the defender come upfield to the outside when you know where that run play is going.
The Viera Hawks offense will get up to the field quickly, or up to the line quickly. First down and 10 from the 31 of Rockledge. Nelson rolls, going deep, looking for a man. It's caught. Touchdown. Jonah Woodruff and the Viera Hawks answer the Rockledge Raiders.
But another flag for an excessive celebration, or for a taunting penalty on Woodruff. Great play. Great job by Woodruff getting behind the defense and coming up with that catch. But, again, this is something we talked about, those unnecessary 15-yard penalties, which the Rockledge Raiders are going to enforce there on the kickoff.
Yeah, you gotta be smart with those plays. Again, you can't cost your team with costly mistakes. But again, the big thing is for the Viera Hawks, they got points on the board,
yes.
And what a drive to answer, being down 14, going up top and through the ground for the Viera Hawks with Duke Butler's big run and the two big catches by Jonah Woodruff. Dominic Maxwell will attempt the extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is on the way, and good. 14-7, the Rockledge Raiders lead the Viera Hawks. The Raiders get the ball next here on Brevard Sports Network.
And while we have this time, I'd like to take another opportunity to talk about another one of our great sponsors here that are allowing us to do what we do on this awesome Friday night. And that other great sponsor, well, it's DSP. As soon as my paper, here we go. Dean Stewart Photography has been serving Central Florida families for over 30 years. Their outstanding photography, quality products, and friendly service is what sets them apart from the rest. At DSP, they strive to provide individualized attention to everyone they photograph, whether it's your child's first school picture day or graduation from high school, putting a sports uniform on. DSP will be there to capture every memory along the way. For more information, give them a call at 321-952-9876 or visit them online at www.dsp-photo.com.
So the Viera Hawks, after the unsportsmanlike penalty, will be backed up all the way to their 25. That is where we'll see Maxwell kick this thing off. Very returnable. The Rockledge Raider offense is going to get great field position off this return. Maxwell in his approach puts boot to leather. Good kick, returnable. Looks like Manning returning it for the Raiders. And Manning is going to escape a couple of Viera defenders, trying to turn it back inside. He does, and he's finally tripped up at the 44-yard line in the Raider offense with great field position.
Absolutely phenomenal starting field position, and I tell you what, if anyone there on the sideline has those longer stud inserts, now might be the time to try to put some of those on. As right now we've seen some slippage here from both squads on this natural grass.
So the first two drives for the the first drive for the Rockledge Raiders was 3 and out. Their second drive was a house call, 94 yards by Cutter. And then their last drive, they traveled 78 yards in 6 plays for a 37-yard touchdown pass from Watkins to Matthew Ford. Matthew Ford, the receiver, that far sideline. Gonzalez looks like the man in motion. He'll get the handoff this time. Check that, that's Teeter, actually. And Teeter will be knocked out of bounds. And that is James Olson, the talented linebacker for the Hawks. He'll make the stop after a couple for Teeter.
First time calling Olson's name tonight. Another good linebacker that also loves the thud.
Gain of 3 for the Rockledge Raider offense. Get a solid breeze coming out of the east tonight. Nice cool evening here, not as hot as we saw last week. Second down and 7. Under 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter. JoJo Watkins with the hard count. Hands it off, and it will be stuffed as Jason Harp, along with James Olson, the linebacker, in on the stop. Dylan Price, the defensive tackle there as well, brings up third down and 7.
I'd like to give a quick in-county score update. Cocoa up 7-0 in the first here over Merritt Island.
Game that everyone's keeping an eye on. Can the Merritt Island Mustangs knock off the Cocoa Tigers and be that first in-county team in a long time to do it? 14-7 on the Christy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard. The Raiders lead. Watkins facing third down and 7. Keeps it himself, and he's going to be wrapped up quickly by Dylan Price. Sal Orlando on the initial pressure as well.
That's one when he comes to have the conversation with Coach Holmes. Coach will say, look, if you're going to decide to run it, take off and run with it. You have the athletic ability to go get the first down there. Again, young man, young quarterback.
Yeah, a sophomore quarterback, and again, there's some growing pains with a sophomore quarterback. And again, he's super talented, and also to give a lot of credit to the Viera defensive line. They've got some great pass rushers as well. So again, it's going to be tough to find those lanes, but Watkins able to keep things in check as we see Arbor punt this ball away. Will not be returnable, and it'll get inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line is where the Viera Hawks offense will start this drive.
Our other game on the Brevard Sports Network, Heritage up 13-0 in the second quarter over Titusville. That's a shocking one. Look, we said last night on the pregame show, if Titusville wants to be considered that solid number 3 and in that top echelon of the county, then they needed to come out and handle business. And right now, it's tough right now for Titusville.
Well, again, you look at, you kind of go back to this game. The Heritage Panthers played the Rockledge Raiders last week. Which Heritage Panthers were they? The team that had that slow start that got down early? Or were they the team that came back with 20 unanswered points, almost coming away with the victory? Right now, it looks like that Heritage team that we saw in the second half last week is that team tonight. 5 minutes and 23 seconds left here before halftime as the Viera Hawks with an opportunity to try and even things up. A good stop by the Viera Hawks defense. Ball on their own 17-yard line. What does quarterback Eric Nelson and company do here? 1st and 10. Nelson keeps it himself, turns it upfield, and he'll be tackled by a host of Raider defenders. Harvey as well as Cutter leading the way for the Raider defense. Gets to about the 21, gain of 4.
Another check across the Chrissy Limback scoreboard. Vero Beach leads 14-13 over O'Galley. That's an interesting one to keep an eye on down at the South Citrus Bowl.
South Citrus Bowl, indeed. Vero's got a very nice facility as we see 2nd down and 7 for the Viera Hawks. Butler in the backfield. Man in motion is Woodruff. Nelson looking to pitch. He does out to Woodruff. Woodruff's got to make a man miss. He cannot as he's wrapped up back. He's going to lose about 5 yards. And that was a good play by the Raider defense. That was Jaden Jefferson in on the stop there for the Raider defense and defensive coordinator Brian Helton. 4 minutes to go here before halftime. 14-7, the Hawks trailing the Raiders on the Christy Lindbeck scoreboard. Right now, unfortunately, we do have clock issues, so the clock is not where it normally is. We're relying on the clock operator for those updates. Eric Nelson in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Nelson backing up, and that ball is batted away, and that was by the big man, Jalen Vallon, who knocked that one down as Eric Nelson was looking for the screen.
That's now 2 big plays for Vallon. One of them was that near fumble recovery on the snap in the first quarter. Now that time, I mean, he swatted that like nothing. He just, but get out of here.
Well, he was really right in Eric Nelson's lap.
Yes.
And so didn't have a whole lot to, didn't really have to jump real high because he was just either going to sack Nelson or Nelson was going to have to throw it away, and he did. So we'll see Sean Hartman in the shadow of his own goal line as he's going to be punting from about the 1. So the Rockledge Raider defense with a big 3-and-out there as the Viera Hawks can't take advantage and try and even this thing up here as we're under 4 minutes to go here before halftime. Good snap, punt is away. Sidewinder as Gonzalez won't return it. It'll go out of bounds. And the Raiders offense will have good field position in plus territory.
Now, again, you said, 3:45 left to go in this one. I kind of look for Coach Holmes to milk some more clock and try to score on the ground. If the big play opens up, I like them to do it, but.
Well, that's going to be the question here with a few minutes left before halftime. What can they do here? But again, they also got great field position. They're sitting at the 44 of Viera.
You got one-on-one down low here. Mitchell one-on-one.
First down and 10 for JoJo Watkins and the Raiders offense as they lead 14-7 on the Viera 44. Handoff to Allen. Allen goes right up the gut. Dylan Price there on the tackle along with linebacker James Olson for the Hawks. A gain of about 5. Actually, check that, a gain of 8 there for the Raider offense. Again, Elijah Mitchell would have a touchdown catch here tonight, but that was wiped off by an ineligible player downfield. So both teams tonight have seen touchdowns come off the board for penalties. Second down and 2 as Watkins gets the play call from offensive coordinator Virgil Marshall.
Great football player in his own right.
Watkins calls Teeter over in motion. Teeter gets the jet sweep, trying to find some room to run, cannot, and he's going to get to the near sideline as he gets positive yardage after what looked like a broken play. Check that's actually Gonzalez on the jet sweep, and a nice run by Gonzalez as he picks up a Raider first down, and a first down brought to you by our friends at Total Spine and Orthopedic.
Absolutely, Total Spine Orthopedic. Minimally invasive spine corrections, spine surgeries. Give them a call. Their information you'll see flashing across the bottom of the screen. Phenomenal company.
Right now, the Chrissy Lindbeck scoreboard, 14-7. I think we got the scoreboard or the clock working again. 2:46 to go before halftime. The first down and 10 from the Hawk 31. Watkins going to keep it himself this time. And Brian Veal, the sophomore defensive end, in on the stop, the transfer from South Carolina.
Veal got in there and really, you got to get shoulder to shoulder with him because if not, that you could be looking up at the sky while he's continuing to power forward.
Brian Veal had 2 sacks last week in the game against Palm Bay, a force off the edge for defensive coordinator Charlie Washington. Al in the backfield with Watkins, second down and 9. Watkins, 3-step drop. Looks to go over the middle of the field, and that one is knocked out of the hands late. Great job there by the defensive back for the Viera Hawks. Trying to get a number on that one. And I believe that was Dimitri Jean, the safety.
Yes, it was.
I believe that was intended for Michael Gonzalez, and almost had that one again. A great pass, great throw by JoJo Watkins. Third down and 9 now. The Raiders need to get to the 21 of Viera for a first down. trips to the far side. And we've got whistles and a flag. We got a false start against the Raiders offense, and that'll back them up even more.
That's one that's tough. Look, I know it's only 5 yards, but again, you seem to have a little bit of traction going with the offense here on the drive, and sometimes it's just those small little mistakes like that, the false starts, and that can derail a drive and derail momentum.
Well, right now the Raiders offense has been able to overcome those because you go back, they had the penalty that wipes off the Elijah Mitchell touchdown. What do? They go right back and go to Matthew Ford on the other end. Watkins, 3rd and a mile, looking to throw, going deep over the middle of the field. This one too far out in front. That one had too much mustard on it. That one intended for Gonzalez. Dimitri Jean was in on the coverage as well, and it'll bring up 4th down. So do you keep the offense out on the field or do you attempt a field goal? And it looks like Watkins is going to stay out of the field for head coach John Holmes. We look at the Chrissy Lindbeck scoreboard, 1:58 to go here before halftime. The Raiders lead 14-7.
Interesting choice here going for it.
Kind of in that no man's land. I think you're just outside Arbor's range. 4th down and a mile. Ball needs to get to the 21 of Viera for a first down. Watkins, plenty of time. Going to the out route, and it's going to be caught by Matthew Ford, but it depends on where the ref spots him, and I think he's going to be well short. And they are. He is well short of the first down marker, and I thought they might give him forward progress.
But even then, that was still going to be
still,
real
yeah,
close.
It's still going to be short. But still a great effort there by Watkins to Ford, and it'll be short of the first down marker. Viera's offense will take over.
But I will say this. If we were to make a critique, the coachable moment is don't go short of the sticks. When you have a big play like that, go to the sticks on 4th down. You got to know where you are on the field at all times.
And that's the tough part, too. Again, there probably Watkins wants to get that just a little bit further out there. But either way, a great stop by the Hawks defense and an opportunity with under 2 minutes to play here. Viera takes over on it's called the 22-yard line as that pass is incomplete, intended for Sean Hartman.
So far, an unusual first half for Hartman. Don't normally see him playing like this. I mean, unfortunately, he had the drop catch that would have led to a touchdown, and a couple over the middle that is just it's going right through his hands. And
right now, if you're Sean Hartman, you almost want to just get to halftime, regroup, get things rolling as we look at never mind, the Chrissy Lindbeck scoreboard here at Viera. The Viera scoreboard is down at the moment as Nelson eludes pressure, trying to find a man, throws it out, and that one's off the hands of Pulliam, but Manning makes the interception, and it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Raiders at the Hawk 20.
And that's why you practice the tip drill, keeping your eyes focused on the ball even after the tip by Pulliam, Manning coming up with the interception, and now I think you're in real positive territory because if you don't lose any more yardage, you're inside Arbor's range.
Yeah, you're definitely in Arbor's range here in the Viera Hawk defense, and defensive coordinator Charlie Washington definitely got their backs up against the wall here as they got to try and get a stop here, maybe allow 3 points at most. You don't want to go down 2 scores here as Rockledge will also get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah. So if you're Rockledge, you really want to try to take advantage of this double-dipping opportunity. Coming up at halftime, you will see the Viera band play and the Rockledge band play.
Trips bunch as the pitch out to Allen, and Allen is brought down quickly by Jason Harp, the defensive tackle for the Viera Hawks, along with Brian Veal, Alec Thomas, and James Olson. Loss of about 6. Marches it all the way back to the 27. Call it a loss of 7.
And if you're Tony Gully, you're thanking your defense because you needed a big play there. You needed some sort of loss of yardage to really kind of, one, get this clock rolling again, and you're really trying to knock Rockledge out of Arbor's range here.
Yeah, you'd like to do that because we saw them already, ball around the 36, the 40-yard line. They're not going to go for a field goal there. Right now, I think they're still within Arbor's range, but if they can get a couple more plays like that, that'll definitely help the Viera defense. Right now, looking at the Chrissy Lenbeck scoreboard, for 1 minute and 21 seconds to go here in the second quarter, as the Raiders right now trying to extend their lead over the Viera Hawks here in the 19th edition of the Backyard Brawl between the Raiders and the Hawks. Raiders lead the all-time series 13-5. The Hawks' last win over the Raiders, you got to go all the way back to 2017 when they won 13-6. So second down and 17 for the Raider offense and quarterback JoJo Watkins. Elijah Mitchell, Bray Teeter, the receivers to the near side. Matthew Ford, the receiver on the outside. Watkins looking his way, goes over the middle of the field to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez is going to walk in to the end zone for a Raider touchdown.
Beautiful job. JoJo did part of that with his eyes. Gonzalez got open. The safety was kind of sitting over the top. Watkins looked outside to take that safety 1-2 steps, and then gave Gonzalez the opportunity to then just waltz into the end zone. Big score for the Raiders here with 1:13 left to go here in the first half.
Snap is good, hold is good, kick is on the way, and it's good. And the Rockledge Raiders now lead 21-7. And the Rockledge Raiders turn a Viera Hawk turnover into 7 points. And that one's a costly one as the Viera Hawks had some momentum, but after that interception, the Rockledge Raiders make the Hawks pay for it.
And when coaches always talk about, if you win the turnover battle, you win the game. Well, the other half of that does need to be, if you can take points off of those turnovers, or as Alan likes to call it, pot. You get pot, you really put yourself in a nice position to win games.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, points off turnovers are huge. The Raiders now have that with 7. And, again, the Viera Hawks offense, we've seen them. They can go down the field quickly. But, again, it's been the miscues.
Yes.
Unfortunate drops, missed opportunities for this Viera Hawks offense. As, again, they have the ability. They've got great weapons all over the place. But at the same time, too, we talked about this last week against Palm Bay because Palm Bay was able to get behind their defense. That's been a struggle tonight as we've seen the Viera Hawks defense, especially the back end of it, get victimized with some big plays downfield. And JoJo Watkins tonight, 2 touchdown passes already, and both of them over 30 yards. Arbor kicks this one. Angling kick is Freeman's going to return this one. Coming to the near sideline, manning the Raider to knock him out of bounds. And it'll be first down and 10 at the 20 for the Viera Hawks offense.
Listen, I think right now if you're Viera, look, you're down 2 scores. There's a minute 8 left. Let's knee the ball out and go make adjustments.
Well, see, I would disagree. I think, you've had opportunities to throw the football. Nelson has been able to throw the football as well. I think what you got to do is try and find Woodruff again in the middle of the field and try and get some chunk plays. I think it all depends on this first play. If they get some chunk yardage, I think we'll see Viera try and put points on the board. First down and 10 from the Hawk 20. Nelson rolls to his right. Looking for options, and that one's going to be complete as Sean Hartman they're going to call it incomplete. And that'll be incomplete, and that was intended for Sean Hartman, so that'll stop the clock. We've got 1 minute to go on the Chrissy Lindbeck scoreboard. We'll see what Viera wants to do here as Coach Gullah gives Nelson the play call. Duke Butler, the back in the backfield. Woodruff, the receiver, to the near side, along with Freeman. Nelson, three-step drop, looking to throw, steps up into the pocket. Quickly out to Gabe Freeman on the near sideline. He'll be knocked out of bounds by Demarion Manning. And so that'll bring up third down and about 1 to go here for the Hawk offense.
So Viera called a timeout because what they said was basically because the receiver was impeded in bounds. They blew the play dead there, didn't count it, and the clock kept running.
So that would have not been good for the Viera Hawks. Forces them to take a timeout there. Again, that's going to be key too. If they do continue to throw the football, the receivers have got to get out of bounds to stop the clock.
And well, then that's what the coach is like. Well, why is the clock running? He was out of bounds. Well, the referee blew the whistle to stop play.
Yeah, pretty simple, and the receivers have got to know that as well as the quarterback. Eric Nelson and his company trying to get some big plays. Again, you've got about 40 ticks left here before halftime. If you can get inside Dominic Maxwell's range, I'd say, because he's good about from 35 in, I would say.
Yes.
If you can get there, put 3 points on the board, feels a little bit better, but definitely feel like you got to put some points on the board as the Raiders get the ball to start the second half. Third down and 1. Nelson stepping up. Got to get the first down. He's going to run for it. Cross the 30, cross the 40, gets out of bounds, and that's going to be a penalty flag, as that is a penalty on the Rockledge Raiders defense and a big mistake there.
Yeah.
That's going to give Viera some good real estate. So Nelson was initially stopped at the 46. That's going to be 15 yards. And that'll take the ball all the way to the Rockledge Raider 41-yard line.
And again, that one could prove to be huge. 32.6 seconds left to go. And now you start, now if you're Viera, do you just try to get in the field goal range and kick for the 3?
I think you take some shots towards the middle of the field. Jonah Woodruff, that's how he scored his 31-yard touchdown pass earlier in the game. Nelson, shotgun, 3-step drop, pressure coming, steps up, and he's eluding pressure. Still being chased. Nelson looking to throw, and it's caught on the far sideline. Didn't get the number of the receiver. I think that might have been Sean Hartman. It was. Sean Hartman with a big play, knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
And that's big in many ways. But Sean Hartman coming up with a big needed catch, a pressure catch that was needed. He came up with it, and I think now we kind of start to see the Sean Hartman that we all know.
Woodruff and Hartman, the receivers to the near side. Gabe Freeman coming over as well. 21 ticks to go here before halftime. Eric Nelson with great job escaping the pressure from the Raider defense. They were bringing the blitz. They bring it again. Nelson has to throw it quickly, and we'll see if there's a flag for intentional grounding, and there is. I think that we'll see if it's roughing the passer or intentional grounding, because the Raiders sideline didn't look like they liked it. So we'll see what the official decides here. He's picked up his flag. That could be intentional grounding, as I didn't see anybody over there in the vicinity, and it is intentional grounding. So loss of downs, and it'll bring up second down and a mile with 16 seconds to go here. Costly mistake there. Ball all the way back to the 42. (21-7). The Raiders leading. The Raiders showing blitz. Blitz coming again. Nelson throws it to Butler on the halfback screen. He's got men in front. Butler turning upfield at the 10. Do they have a timeout? 8 seconds to go. And we got Vieira did have one more timeout left, so they're going to call it. But a great screen. That's how you defeat that blitz.
Yes. That's the second big screen Vieira's had tonight against.
Oh, there's a penalty flag.
Oh, wow.
So that entire halfback screen is going to be wiped out. That penalty yardage is eating up Viera tonight.
Yep.
And that is what's hurting them. We talked about it last week. They were able to overcome it last week. But again, this Rockledge Raider team, you can't keep shooting yourself in the foot against these Raiders and try to come away with a win. Again, big plays and a touchdown has been wiped off the board tonight by penalties. And it's a block in the back penalty, which will wipe out that entire first gain. 7 seconds to go here. I think if you're Viera, I'm curious if the Raiders blitz again, but if you're Viera, you just try and send up everyone for a Hail Mary. Nelson steps up into the pocket, looking to go deep, and this one is going to be almost caught. No flags on the field, and that will be your first half. The Rockledge Raiders leading the Viera Hawks 21-7 here on the Brevard Sports Network.
All right, folks, for those who like to stick around and watch the band, we are going to unplug. I'm going to mute the mic, and we're going to unplug while the band's performing and let you watch the band performances, and then we'll come back for second half action. So get your quick drink, get your snack, and get ready to watch these great bands do what both great bands do.
Tonight they'll be performing their fall 2025 production, Motown Magic. Musical selections to include Get Ready by the Temptations, I'll Be There, I Want You Back, and ABC by the Jackson 5. Drum majors Lorraine Allenson and Cristiano Gonzalez. Is your band ready? You may begin your performance. Let's hear it one more time for the Raider Regiment. Marching Hawks, you may take the field. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your Viera High School marching Hawks. The marching Hawks would like to recognize their sponsors of Premium Roofing Systems. They provide County Roofing Contractor. The band is under the direction of drum majors Kathik Kadakia and Caitlin Peden and head drum major Jessica Schumann. The color guard captains Peyton Rothman, the percussion captains are Marissa Solido and Isaac Moss. Brass captains are Cole Carino and Tyler Blood. Woodwind captains are Sarah Pedras and Kiana Thierry. The band captain is Michael DeMarco. The Marching Hawks are bringing the fire with their field show titled Latin Inspirations, featuring music from the Mask of Zorro and We Don't Talk About Bruno from Disney's Encanto. Drum majors, is your band ready? Marching Hawks, you may now begin your performance. One more time for your Viera High School marching Hawks. The directors of the marching Hawks are assisted by auxiliary director Shannon Ruppert and Caitlin Ruppert, percussion director Dan Johnson, with music and visual staff members Daniel Walker, Hannah Hone, James Maniscalco, Tab Swanson, Asia Richardson, and Mark Sunderland. All proceeds from tonight's concession sales go towards supporting the band and orchestra programs at Viera High School. More info about the bands and orchestras at Viera is available at vieramusic.com. And one more hand for the Rockledge Raiders.
All right, folks. We will be back with second half action right here on the Brevard Sports Network. All right, folks, we are back here. And just before we get started the second half, I'd like to, again, direct everyone. Look, anyone who's followed me knows that, well, I've been a part of 7v7 Elite as the official broadcaster. And, well, last week, sometimes they say when it rains, it pours. And I'll tell you what, Merritt Island Storage Unit over on the Merritt, U-Haul storage unit over on Merritt Island caught fire and destroyed 5 years worth of tents, field equipment, electronics, causing up to $30,000 to $40,000 worth of damage. We're asking the community if you can step in and help. 7v7 Elite has given athletes all across the state of Florida the opportunity to shine in not in what's said not football but football-like activities in the 7v7 world. Donate and help 7v7 rise from the ashes. These guys, Lee Latner, Nick Donahue, and the whole team, we're like family. They're like family to us here at Brevard Sports Network. Search on the Brevard Sports Network or 7v7 Elite Facebook page to help the 7v7 Elite rise from the ashes. For the GoFundMe link, they've set up a GoFundMe. We got a season fast up approaching, starting in January. So, again, folks, please, if you can, even if you can't donate, share the GoFundMe link if you would, and help 7v7 Elite come back bigger and better than ever. And that's on a personal note from myself. I love working 7v7 Elite. I love the athletes I got a chance to meet from all over the state. And with that, we are heading to third quarter action. Anthony Knockreiner to take you through this one.
We'll recap you with everything that happened in the first half here in just a little bit as the Viera Hawks will kick things off here for the second half. As we mentioned, the Rockledge Raiders will receive the second half kickoff. We'll get you scores from around the county as well, as Maxwell will send this one back deep. Returnable for Gonzalez. Gonzalez going all the way across the field, but it's brought down quickly. Flag flies, and I believe for Vieira, that was Xavier Peoples, the sophomore, in on the stop. we'll see what the flag is about.
Unfortunately, I think for Peoples, I think he got his hand around the face mask and brought him down. So we'll see what the call is, but that's what I believe to be because that flag came in as the tackle was being made.
Very true, and I'll tell you what a benefit it would have been for the Viera Hawks. Again, if this is a penalty on Viera, you had Rockledge backed up deep in their own territory, but now because of a penalty, you're going to give them better field position, and there it is, a field goal, face mask on Viera. We talked about it, at the end of the first half, Caleb. Yep. Viera's been shooting themselves in the foot with penalties tonight.
It's that one step forward,
2 steps back,
15 yards back.
Exactly.
But wait a minute, they didn't move the ball.
Well, I think he got tackled at the 4. They moved it up to the 12. First down and 10, and Watkins is sacked at the 1. I don't think we have a safety, but I think he's sacked at the 1, and the man leading the charge was Sal Orlando.
Sal Orlando has been a name that has been appearing. He wears that C on his chest with pride, and he shows in it by example why his teammates have elected him to be a captain and why his coaches have also supported that decision.
As I say, the Rockledge Raiders quarterback JoJo Watkins sacked tonight, and the defensive line for the Viera Hawks getting some pressure, and I think that's going to be a key in the second half too, Caleb. This front 4, or front 3 really, for this Viera Hawk defense have got to start making the sophomore quarterback feel uncomfortable. Second down and a mile from the Raider 3 as he bobbles the snap in his own end zone. Steps up. He's going to run for it. He's got daylight in front. Across the 15, the 20, 25, 30, and it'll be knocked out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. A huge run for the sophomore quarterback.
And that's that other factor that we didn't see a lot in the first half. He didn't really take off run. He kept his eyes downfield. By that time, he made the decision: plant my foot, get open field yardage, and a huge burst of athleticism from JoJo Watkins.
A 35-yard run brings up first down for the Raider offense as they were backed up in their own end, and JoJo Watkins able to escape and create opportunity. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 receivers to the far side. Allen the back in the backfield with Watkins. Hard count, handoff to Allen, right up the gut, and Allen will be wrapped up by the ankles by inside linebacker James Olson and linebacker Alec Thomas. Gain of a couple as he gets to about the 43. Give you a quick score updates. Right now, Cocoa 10, Merritt Island 7 in the second quarter. Heritage 13-0 over Titusville. That game into the third. Melbourne up 51-7 over Cocoa Beach. And Vero Beach up 28-13 over O'Galley. An important update. We'll give you that here in just a second. Second down and 6. Handoff to Cutter. Nope, that was Cam Allen once again. That'll be enough for a Raider first down. And that first down brought to you by Total Spine and Orthopedic as the Raiders get a new set of downs to the 47. Joseph Allen and Mond for Vero. Both quarterbacks out of that one right now.
Wow. That is – wow.
First down and 10 from the Hawk 47. Allen moves from his right to his left of Watkins. Handoff to Watkins, or handoff goes right up the gut, and nothing but green grass in front as Camden Allen will be brought down at the 6. A touchdown-saving tackle there by the Viera Hawks. I believe that was Dimitri Jean.
Dimitri Jean with a touchdown-saving tackle. Allen again with another just burst of explosion. Again, we talked about Rockledge or Viera having these loads of weapons. I think you're seeing the coming out party of Rockledge's weapons all making plays.
I was about to say, you go back to the first half. You go to Cutter, who opened things up with a 94-yard touchdown run for the Raiders, and then Watkins with 2 touchdown passes in that first half as well. The Raiders trying to extend their lead. They're up 21-7. Viera Hawks defense got to bow up and come up with a stop here. Trips bunch formation to that far side. Watkins hard count. Pitches it out to Allen. Allen looking for blockers, looking for an alleyway. Cannot. and brought down by Dylan Price and others of the Viera Hawk defense. Gain of about 2 yards brings up second down and goal. You go back to that first half, a 37-yard touchdown pass from Watkins to Ford, a 27-yard touchdown pass from Watkins to Gonzalez. Again, if you go back, that interception that Viera had, they were down 14-7, had the ball under 2 minutes, but an interception off a tip gave Rockledge the edge there, and so far it's been Rockledge's game as Watkins is going to keep it himself, and he'll be short of the goal line. I think he's going to be at about the 2. Nope, call that the 1. Viera's defense with a big third down and goal here. Can they get the stop or will the Raiders punch it in?
Now, this will be interesting here. Do the Raiders have a power back that they go to? Do they have somebody that can punch it in, or do they go just more with that spread speed?
Well, I think if anything, you kind of line up and spread everybody out. Call the quarterback draw here for Watkins as well. I think that might be Gonzalez in the backfield there with Watkins. Tough to see the number of the back in the backfield with Watkins, but a heavy formation, 2 tight ends. Ball on the 1 yard line, third down and goal. Watkins hands it off, and is the ball loose? Doesn't look, and ball did come out. Somebody fell on it for the Raiders, and they lose 3 yards. So fourth down and goal. John Holmes is going to leave the offense out there. What does offensive coordinator Virgil Marshall have in his bag of tricks here at the 4? Two tight ends, I formation. Watkins under center. Watkins loses the ball again. The ball's on the ground, and it will be a turnover on downs as a miscue by the Raiders and the Viera defense. Bows up.
Huge defensive stand for the Viera defense, and hopefully that can inject some life and momentum into this Viera offense to start the third quarter. Huge play, or huge stand by that Viera defense.
So Viera will get the football at their own 2 yard line. Unfortunately, the Viera Hawk clock is out at the moment, so we will rely on the clock operator. But right now on the Christy Lindbeck scoreboard, the Raiders 21, the Viera Hawks 7, with the Viera Hawks a chance here deep in their own end to try and get out of it. Nelson keeps it himself. He'll get across to maybe about the 5. They're going to stop him at the 4 for a gain of 2.
Look, there's nothing wrong there with a 2 yard gain. Just try to get that ball from sitting off your goal line. They were at the 2 yard line, but still, as a quarterback, you're standing in the end zone.
Well, right now, the Viera Hawks offense running the football hasn't really been able to get going here. As Nelson going to keep it himself again this time, turns it up, and he's going to get a first down and more as he's tackled there by DJ Scott for the Raider defense, and it'll be a total spine and orthopedic first down for the Viera Hawks. Got a timeout for the water break here. And you look at the Viera Hawks right now back in that first half. The Viera Hawks offense, Caleb, big plays, but killed by penalties.
Yes.
And you also look at the fact that that interception, under 2 minutes to go, really allowed and almost allowed the Raiders to go up by 3 scores. But right now the Viera Hawks, this game's not out of control by any means. But I'll tell you what, Viera's got threads right now where you're feeling like Rockledge could start to pull away from this thing if Viera doesn't get a handle on the miscues.
Well, and that's the thing. Right now, I think on that Viera offense, there's a lot of pressure right now because they know they have to get going and put points on the board. And I know we're halfway through the third quarter. I heard 6:46 left to go here in the third. But again, that clock is right now your enemy if you're Viera. I understand it's only the third quarter, but that clock is not your best friend right now.
Right now, and you're down by 2 scores, and so far you've had opportunities for big plays, but they keep getting wiped out. First down and 10 now. Ball on the 11-yard line of the Viera Hawks. Woodruff and Freeman, the receivers to your near side. Hartman, the up back. Duke Butler in the backfield with Nelson. Clean snap. Nelson quickly throws that one high, intended for Freeman, and that'll fall incomplete. Second down and 10.
I like the idea there. I like the idea. Make Rockledge pay with that passing game. They've had a little bit of success from that pass game, but you need to do damage to allow that run game to help you.
Well, I was going to say, especially the quarterback rollouts is where I think we saw a lot of damage done for the Viera Hawks passing offense because, again, it's tough. You got talented guys back here for the Rockledge Raiders with multiple college offers. You know, DJ Scott offers from FSU, Miami, Pitt. Floyd, who we mentioned earlier, from Pitt, West Virginia, Iowa State. A lot of talented defenders back there as Nelson will hand off to Butler. Butler making some guys miss as he bobs and weaves through the defense. He'll pick up about 8 yards there as he gets to about the – they're going to call him at the 24. Yeah, so a gain of 8. Be third down and 2. I'm sorry, 18. No, 28. Nope, I checked that, the 24. So third down and 2 for the Viera Hawk offense. Nelson, play action, rolling. Nelson calls the number for Hartman. Hartman makes the catch, has the first down and more. And the Viera Hawks will get a brand new set of downs after the Hartman catch at the 32-yard line.
That's now back-to-back catches for Sean Hartman. And you know, this is what you're used to seeing. Mr. Reliable. He can be those reliable hands. He can make plays for you. There, he picked up a first down. Guess what? On those 2 catches he's now had, he's picked up big first downs that Viera's needed.
That Viera Hawk first down brought to you by our good friends over at Total Spine and Orthopedics.
Such a great company with minimally invasive spine surgeries and
penalty as well on the Rockledge Raiders, so that's going to move sideline interference on the Rockledge Raiders, so that'll move the ball all the way up to the 48 of Viera. We're on the 6th play of this drive, and the Viera Hawks are on their own 48 when they started this drive on their own 2. Nelson hands off. Butler turns his legs forward, flag flying in, and that will be enough, a gain of a couple. We'll see what the penalty flag is on. Holding on the Viera Hawks, and that'll march them back 10.
Again, back to our comment, though, you have momentum, you have kind of things rolling your way. You got a big penalty that helped your way, and now a holding penalty that takes away 2/3 of that penalty yardage.
Well, it also sets them back now to a 1st and 20 when you were about to be probably 2nd down and 7, maybe 2nd down and 6.
Yeah.
But now the Viera Hawks look at 1st down and 20. Again, Viera has to start cleaning this stuff up because, again, you just can't keep hurting yourself to try and get points on the board. Nelson, the man in motion. Actually, Nelson will keep it. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage to the 48, gain of 10. Gets all that penalty yardage back, but check that. We got a penalty marker at the 40.
Holding again.
Holding again on the Viera Hawks, and that's going to back them up even more.
And let me clarify, for someone who's like, wow, that Rockledge defense is quick. If you sit and watch them, especially their D-line, they're smaller than the offensive line, but they're quickly getting off the ball. And sometimes as an offensive lineman, you have to hold to it in order to not have your quarterback take a shot in the backfield. And that's what I'm attributing these two to is the speed of this Rockledge defense.
Well, yeah, you're talking about, speed, and then at the same time, too, those refs, if they see those linemen with their mitts on the
Yep.
outside, you're going to make it easy for them and to call it. So now first down, ball needed to get to the Rockledge 43. Ball's at the Viera Hawk 30. About first and 27 now for the Hawks offense. Right now they trail 21-7 here in the third quarter on the Christy Lindbach Realty scoreboard. Handoff to Butler. Butler makes a man miss. Churning those legs, almost gets back all that penalty yardage. No flag on the field this time. He'll take it up to the 44. Gain of 14. Brings up second down. Let's call it 14.
Butler's such an explosive back. Like, he's not necessarily just a power back. You can see he explodes out of the backfield and, has some speed on him. He's deceptively quick.
Exactly. I was about to say that was the exact words I was going to come up with as well. Duke Butler running for 74 yards last week on 14 carries in the Kickoff Classic. Second down and 14. Nelson, play action, throws quickly. That ball caught by Sean Hartman. And a penalty flag,
Yep.
2 penalty flags coming in late. And we'll see who that's on.
Well, one of them is going to be on Rockledge. They came in, and Sean Hartman's head, he almost thought he was an owl for a second with how much that neck got wrenched.
So a face mask on the Rockledge Raiders defense, and that might give Viera a first down, and it will. So that'll take the ball all the way to the Rockledge 35. And it'll be a first down off a penalty. And right now we've got 4 first downs for this Viera Hawk offense that started this drive back on their own 2-yard line after a mishandled snap by the Raider offense on 4th down.
All right, now if you're Viera, you need to keep forward here. You need to keep that momentum rolling with you.
Eric Nelson, the shotgun, trips formation to the far side. Freeman, the receiver to the near side. Nelson, quick hitch and throw to Freeman. Freeman should get enough, be close to the first down yardage as he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 26. .216 to go here on the Christy Lindbach scoreboard as the Viera Hawks trail the Rockledge Raiders in the backyard brawl, 21-7. Right now the Viera Hawks driving, trying to get within 1 possession. Doubles formation. Nelson quickly throws that one just off the knees of Gabe Freeman. Gabe Freeman, a transfer from South Carolina. As that one falls incomplete, brings up 3rd down and 1.
And that one there, Nelson just need to put a little more zip on it. If he puts the zip on it, I don't think it drops as early, and I think you're talking about a nice completion over the middle.
Last week, Eric Nelson, 12 of 13 for 244 and 2 touchdowns against Palm Bay. Curious to see what his numbers are tonight. He does have 1 touchdown pass this evening. 3rd down and 1. Nelson keeping it, pushing his way through. He'll get across the 25 to about the 24, and we'll have enough for a Viera Hawk first down, brought to you by our friends over at Total Spine and Orthopedics.
Whether it's spinal injections, radio frequency ablation, or advanced minimally invasive spine surgery, their specialists use cutting-edge technology to find and fix the exact cause of your pain. Information is at the bottom of your screen. Give them a call or find them online and get your back pain figured out easy.
Return to action, first down and 10. Woodruff, the man in motion. Nelson rolling. Looks to Sean Hartman on the near sideline, and he makes the catch inside the 15 at the 12, and that'll be another Viera Hawks first down.
And now you're starting to see that confidence come out of Sean Hartman. You're seeing the big-time celebration. He's starting to feel like himself again. That's now three catches back-to-back.
Great job here by the Viera offense. Again, they're just kind of, I don't want to say necessarily dinking and dunking,
yes,
but they're getting close to doing that. Again, they also did have the face mask penalty that did give them the first down to continue the drive. But right now, Viera inside the Total Spine Orthopedic red zone, trying to get within 1 possession. Nelson keeps it himself. Is going to be wrapped up by a couple of Raiders defenders as he spun down, and a flag flying in from that far sideline. We'll see what the call is on that one. Coach Holmes and the Rockledge Raiders defense did not like that call. Full house tonight.
Yeah.
Great support by both the Viera community as well as the Rockledge community.
This is exactly what you like to see, especially week one rivalry.
We got a personal foul.
Helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet on the Raiders. And that's going to move the ball to, it looks like the 4-yard line. So it'll be first down and 2 to go. Ball needs to get to the 2 for a first down. Still here in the third quarter as the Viera Hawks trail 21-7. Duke Butler gets the handoff, and he'll be met at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard as he gets to the 3.
That's exactly who you need to be looking at when you get to this part of the field, because this is where that explosion really, really helps you if you're the Hawks. Also, don't be surprised to see another shot to Hartman here in the end zone. He's got some size on a couple of these defenders if they get the right matchup.
Second down and 1 for the Hawks offense. Handoff goes to Butler as he tests the edge, and he's in for a Viera Hawks touchdown.
Butler again. And just like that, Viera back within 8 points. And that's the kind of drive we've been waiting to see from Viera all night long.
Viera Hawks will send out Dominique Maxwell to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and that is a drilled football as it goes through the uprights. The extra point is good, 21-14. The Raiders still lead the Viera Hawks on the Chrissy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard.
And again, we'd like to take this opportunity as they get set for kickoff to give a shout out to another one of our great sponsors, Dean Stewart Photography. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Dean Stewart Photography has been serving Central Florida families for over 30 years. Their outstanding photography, quality products, and friendly service is what sets them apart from the rest. At DSP, they strive to provide individualized attention to everyone they photograph, whether it's your child's first picture day or graduation from high school or putting on a sports uniform. DSP will be there to capture every memory along the way. For more information, give them a call at 321-952-9876 or visit them online at www.dsp-photo.com. Or if you're sitting here watching this on the big screen TV, scan the QR code.
Viera Hawks will kick this one off. That'll be Manning on the return on the near sideline. Changes direction, loses the football, and the Viera Hawks recover a penalty flag on the field as well.
Wow.
Manning just lost the handle on it. I believe we should, first down Viera. Unfortunate break for the Rockledge Raiders as Manning had it and it just came out.
Hold on, and who is it that recovered it right here on the sideline? No, number 6 or number? That's number 8 who came up with that fumble recovery. That's nope. That's McClure Williams who came up with that fumble recovery.
So again, the Viera Hawks, they get a turnover of their own after going 98 yards on 14 plays. Still here in the third quarter, the Viera Hawks with their best field position of the night and a chance to even this ball game up. Woodruff, the man in motion. Nelson going to keep it this time, but swallowed up quickly by the Raiders defense. Marcel Evans in on the stop,
Apologize to everyone.
along with Zion Lavior.
Apologize to everyone there for the camera snafu. Sometimes big hands start knocking things over, and don't worry, Anthony will punch me for that later.
No. Mistakes happen. It's all good. Hey, we're still getting into our season form. That'll be the end of the third quarter. We send it back to the studios. The Viera Hawks trail the Rockledge Raiders 21-7 as we go to the fourth.
One.
The 19th edition of the Backyard Brawl has lived up to the hype as the Viera Hawks trail the Rockledge Raiders 21-7. Right now, the Viera Hawks, they were at one point down 21-7. It looked like the Raiders were going to take a 3-score lead, but a miscue on fourth down. The Viera Hawks take over on their own 14 plays, 98 yards later. They get a touchdown. Then the Rockledge Raiders have a fumble on special teams, and now the Viera Hawks have the ball, second down and 12. Handoff to Duke Butler. He's still on his feet. And did the ball come out? Did the ball come out? Waiting for the officials on this one as the Raiders signal that they have it. Right now the officials, no signal, and it looks like that the Viera Hawks will keep the football.
Everyone's got to get back on that sideline, though, because
they've already been hit with one sideline. Well, they've been hit with two because the second
Yes.
one's usually the penalty.
correct.
So a gain of 2 to bring up third down. Ball sitting on the 25. Ball needs to get to the 17 for a first down. Third down and a long 9 as we just get into the fourth quarter. Two backs in the backfield with Nelson. Play action. Nelson rolls to the near side. Pressure. And he's going to be sacked. And that looked like that was Marcel Evans, the defensive lineman for the Raider defense, that knocked Nelson all the way back and brings up fourth down and long.
Wow. The tides of momentum literally just keep like they're swirling. Seems like they're with Viera. Now it's swung back Rockledge's way. This is the type of game we thought we would see. Just back and forth slugfest.
And there's a penalty on the Rockledge Raiders on that play. I did not see where the flag came from, nor what the flag was on. I thought that was a clean sack. Not entirely sure on that one. The Rockledge Raiders got to be frustrated because they thought they had a fumble recovery earlier, and now it's fourth down and 5 after what would have put the Viera Hawks back to fourth and a mile.
But this is that mental test for this young Rockledge team. Can they stay locked in, or are they going to let their emotions carry over? That, again, 2 huge plays that should have been for Rockledge negated by penalties.
Nelson in a quarterback. Hartman in the inside. Pulliam, the receiver, on the near sideline. Man in motion is Woodruff. And we got a flag flying. And we've got a full start on the Viera Hawks offense. And now it's Viera's turn to make mistakes.
Not to sound like a broken record, but we talked about it coming into this game, and we've talked about it throughout this game.
Again, Viera tonight, they've had miscues. They've had penalties that wiped off touchdowns. Again, they have a chance. The down marker is now changed back to third. They had it at fourth, but now it's back to third down. So it's third down and 9, not fourth down. Duke Butler in the backfield. Nelson drops back, pressure coming, and he's swarmed by a bunch of Raiders defenders. Love, as well as Zion Lavore, back there to sack the quarterback, and that brings up 4th down and about 17.
And if you're Nelson, I mean, there's not much you can do there. Healer dropped back, and as soon as he planted that back foot, he's got 3 Raiders looking him in the eye.
That takes the ball all the way back to the 28. So now decision time, and we're going to see the longer leg here for the Viera Hawks. And if I'm correct, that is Brady Kramer out to attempt this field goal. 33. That one's just a line drive. Didn't have much of a chance, and that one is no good. And the Rockledge Raiders will take over. And a missed opportunity by the Viera Hawks to get the ball back on a special teams miscue and to come away with no points as deep as they were in Raider territory.
You know what, though? That's got to make head coach John Holmes, being the defensive guy he is, smile to see his defense stand up along with defensive coordinator Brian Helton.
Yeah, you got to give the credit to the Raiders defense. They held the Viera Hawks offense, could go nowhere as, again, that pressure from that front of the Rockledge Raiders, Marcel Evans, along with Zeke Blansfield, Torrey Love as well. You can go to Zeke Blansfield I mentioned as well, but a lot of pressure there from those front guys as we see a handoff to the Raider running back. I believe that's Allen, and he'll gain a yard as he gets, I'll call it 2 yards as he gets to the 22.
And you know what was said to every ball carrier, anyone who has the potential to touch the football in live play. 2 hands on that football. I don't want to see that ball on the ground. And it was said just like that with no other extra words.
Right now you look at the Chrissy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard, 21-14. The Rockledge Raiders leading the Viera Hawks as we are in the 4th quarter. Rockledge Raiders right now, 2nd down and 8 on their own 22-yard line. Watkins going to keep it this time, but he's sacked in the backfield. And that is linebacker James Olson, and we've called his name a few times tonight.
Yes, we have, and Olson, when Viera needs a play, Olson steps up and gets the sack.
Absolutely, as, again, the Viera Hawks, they've been in 3rd down quite a bit defensively, but they've given up big plays. And we'll see what the Raiders offense can do here. Look for Matthew Ford. He's had some big plays tonight in the passing game. 7 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 10. Ball needs to get to the 30 of Rockledge for a 1st down. Watkins looking for Elijah Mitchell. That one just too tall for the wide receiver. He had him, and it falls incomplete, and the Raiders will punt.
Great design. Great play, great execution on the route. Just unfortunately, that ball just a little too tall, and I think that's the young eyes of the quarterback getting a little wide, not expecting his receiver being that open.
I was going to say he had the inside leverage on the DBs, so tough play there. But again, you're seeing the decision making from Watkins again from a young quarterback to go that way. Again, just a little tall for his receiver and Elijah Mitchell, and Rockledge had something there. We'll see the punt. This one, a little bit of a sidewinder, and Woodruff and Butler let it go, and it'll be down at the 37-yard line. Not entirely sure why the returnman just let that one go. You had better field position by fair catching it, but either way, it'll be 1st down and 10 on the Hawk 37.
And right now, Anthony, we've seen it's really started to get chippy here as you progress late here into the 4th quarter. Which team can keep their emotions under control? The team that does that comes away with this victory.
Now, you're absolutely right. And at the same time, too, tonight, we talked about turnovers.
Yes.
Well, the interception and now the fumble have equaled out. So the turnover game, pretty much 1-1 each.
The only thing is you give the leg up to the Raiders because they turned their turnover
into points. You're absolutely right, Caleb. as we are under 7 minutes to play here on the Christy Lembeck Realty scoreboard. The Raiders leading the Hawks in the backyard brawl. First down and 10. Nelson keeps it himself, goes up the middle, across the 40 into the 45. Good gain of about 7 for the quarterback.
And look, if you're Viera, no need to rush. Run your offense, and I'd say take as much time off the clock as you can while putting a touchdown on the board.
Well, exactly. We've got to make sure, one, they hold on to the football.
Yes.
And two, Eric Nelson looking for the opportunities, don't have to go for the big play. Again, we've seen it. We saw it just a few drives ago, a 14-play drive for the Viera Hawks. As Nelson, second down and short, keeps it himself. Doesn't pitch it this time, comes to the outside, and he'll be brought down there by DJ Scott of the Raiders. Good open field tackle, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Viera Hawks.
Absolutely, again, a big leadership play. 6:40 left to go in the game. A big leadership type of drive here from Eric Nelson, putting the team on his back and picking up the big yardage when they need it.
12-yard gain by quarterback Eric Nelson. That first down brought to you by our good friends at Total Spine and Orthopedic. As we get later and later into this ball game, Caleb, again, we talked about it. We thought this game could be a really good one, and so far it's delivering tonight as we've got a one-possession ball game.
Absolutely. We've seen special teams make special plays on both defensive special teams and offensive special teams. We've seen defenses make plays. And, of course, the offense, again, this score could easily be 28-21 if each team hadn't had a touchdown taken off the board by penalties.
Well, you could be looking at a totally different ball game right now as well. You go back to that mid-third quarter. Rockledge is driving. They look like they're about to go 28-7,
Yep.
but instead a miscue, and the Viera Hawks are back in this one. First down and 10. Ball on the Raider, 43-yard line. Pistol formation. Nelson looking to throw, trying to elude pressure. Has to get rid of it. It's caught by Sean Hartman, and that catch is made at the 35.
4 catches in a row now for Hartman.
They're going to call him at the 35.5-yard line.
That's 4 catches now for Hartman, and I want to give credit to Nelson there. Nelson took a shot and had to throw off his back foot to get it to Hartman. That, again, that veteran presence showing in full tonight.
Well, that's why you love having veteran players like you've got right now with Hartman, Jonah Woodruff as well, Duke Butler there too. You also got Gabe Freeman, Slade Pulliam, another receiver as well. Second down and about 2 to go. Ball on the 35 of the Raiders. Nelson keeps it, makes one guy miss, gets across the 35 down to about the 33. That should be enough for a Hawk first down.
You know, a lot of these guys' names you're calling tonight for Viera have come from SVYFL, which will be spotlighted on the Brevard Sports Network tomorrow night, or tomorrow all day. Pop Warner Football, the Suntree Viera Hawks, and the Palm Bay Rockets taking over Brevard Sports Network YouTube page tomorrow morning, starting with 6U, I believe, at 8:30 in the morning. Or 7U.
Caleb Brown is going to be the man bringing that to you tomorrow, and all the credit goes to Caleb for bringing you youth football here in Brevard County on Brevard Sports Network. First down and 10 for the Viera Hawks. That shotgun triple option. Nelson keeps, turns it upfield, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think he did. And might have actually lost a yard on that one. No, they're going to call him down at the original line of scrimmage, so no gain on that one.
And you know who's – okay, he's not smiling physically, but on the inside, Coach Patrick Lusk, the defensive line coach for Rockledge, his guys staying home and allowing – they're telling Nelson, you make the decision, we'll react to it and stop you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this defensive line has done a nice job tonight really nullifying what Nelson and this Viera offense want to do. You talk about the screen game, that big sack early on. They had the screen, but Nelson had nowhere because he had 3 Raiders on him. We'll see what the Raiders do here because we saw the blitz working earlier as well for the Rockledge Raiders defense as we see Chris Murphy and Coach Tony Gula call a timeout for the Viera Hawks. right now on the Chrissy Lindbeck Realty scoreboard, 21-14. The Rockledge Raiders leading the Viera Hawks. We'll try to get you how much time we've got here in just a few seconds. Is unfortunately the clock on the scoreboard is out, so that's why we haven't been able to give you a time.
4:14 left to go in this one.
4:14 to go here, and essentially, Caleb, I've got a feeling here that this has got to be it for the Viera Hawks. They got to put a touchdown on the board.
But rivalry games like this are what define your career, both as this young Rockledge football team and Eric Nelson and this veteran Viera Hawk team.
Sean Hartman, the up back. Nelson in the shotgun. Butler behind him. Woodruff, the receiver in motion. Nelson, hands off to Butler. Butler makes a man miss. Going to the sideline, and he'll get close to first down yardage. Might be a half yard short. He's going to be down at the 24. We'll see if that's enough. It'll bring up third down and a half yard.
This is big here. I think this is where you give it to Duke Butler right here.
We haven't seen Derek Schmadeke a whole lot tonight. This feels like this would be an opportunity for him as well.
Yes.
But Duke Butler in there right now. Third down and 1. Need to get to the 23 for a first down. Nelson going over the top, and that's picked off, but we do have a flag on the back end. That was DJ Scott with the interception. He's down the sideline. Continue with a caravan of blockers for the Raiders. Scott, nobody in front. And the Rockledge Raiders, if this holds, will score a defensive touchdown as he's tripped up at the 1. Never mind. He's at the 1 if this holds.
Now, I think it could be offensive pass interference because you did see the receiver pull down a Rockledge defender.
We'll see what the call is, but a huge turn of events if this turnover holds. A gutsy call, 3rd and 1 to go over the top.
And he's slow to get up.
Well, DJ Scott pretty much just ran about 75 yards. So it looks like we're coming back, and it looks like this might be on Rockledge. We'll wait for the official word from the head referee. Give you a score update while we wait. Right now, Cocoa 10, Merritt Island 10 in the 4th quarter.
10-10?
10-10, the Cocoa Tigers and the Mustangs.
Wow.
Got a close ball game there. Last time we heard pass interference on Rockledge, so that turnover's negated by the penalty, and the Viera Hawks will get a new life inside the total spine and orthopedic red zone.
But if you're the Hawks, what do you do with that now? Can they capitalize and put the ball in the end zone here?
Ball will be spotted at the 14-yard line for a first down here.
Figure there's got to be somewhere around 3 minutes, maybe under, left to go in this one.
Viera Hawks, Eric Nelson takes it himself, batters himself into the line. He'll gain a couple, maybe 4 yards. He'll take it to the 10. Again, Vieira is not really going to be rushing here to move this clock. Don't want to give JoJo Watkins, who led a game-winning drive last week as well. Nelson turns it inside, and Eric Nelson, is he in? No, he stopped at the 1-yard line. So that'll bring up first down and goal. Clock continues to run.
So you call NASCAR right here, and you run that same play.
Nelson jumps, and we got a flag flying too. We do have a touchdown, but what's the flag? Holding on the Viera Hawks.
That could be a killer.
That's tough. Holding on that
Yes.
type of play. Again, a mistake for the Viera Hawks. That's been a killer tonight. Penalties. 21-14. The Raiders leading the Viera Hawks. Both teams tonight.
Yes.
Penalties have killed them. Rockledge gets an interception to essentially end this game, but the pass interference continues the drive.
I can tell you win, lose, or draw. I know that coaching staff over for Rockledge, there'll be a lot of running being done at practice today, or next week.
So first down and goal. Ball on the 11-yard line. Shotgun or triple option shotgun formation for Nelson. Nelson goes to the flats, looking for Hartman. He's across the 5. He dives to the 1. And we have a flag as well. So we've got another flag as he's at the 1.
Are they?
We got 2 flags, I think.
Are they going to call Hartman for lowering his head?
Personal foul.
Helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet on the Viera Hawks, and that backs him up. Two minutes and 27 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter on the Chrissy Lindbach Realty scoreboard. Raiders lead the Hawks 21-14, and the ball was on the 1-yard line for the Viera Hawks. They're now all the way back to the 21. After a helmet to helmet,
and
Coach Gullah is not happy.
I can understand the frustration here.
A lot of frustration because, again, you're the Viera Hawks. You were
Yes.
at the 1. You
Yes.
had a touchdown, but a holding penalty knocks you back, and then a penalty like this knocks you further back. We still have first down and goal from the 21. Woodruff comes off the field. Derek Schmadeke lining up at the fullback position. Butler in the pistol behind Nelson. A little trickery here as it's a pitch back, and it will be Sean Hartman who is knocked out of bounds. And they might have lost some yardage on that one too. They might have lost 3 on that. So right now the Viera Hawks going in the wrong direction. Roughly around 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Viera right now trying to tie this ball game up. But they lost 3. And it's second down and goal to go. Nelson rolls to his right. Steps up, throws. That one's caught by Hartman, but he's tackled immediately. And he'll be tackled at about the 20. So a gain of 4. Brings up third down. It's 4-down territory, obviously, here,
Yep.
Caleb.
Yes, it is. And at some point, do you take a shot at the end zone?
I mean, you have to if it's fourth down, but third down,
yes.
I think you might want to try and get a little closer. But we'll see what they draw up here. High drama here in Viera, Florida. Nelson looking to throw. Throws it quickly. And that's to Hartman, who's knocked out of bounds at the 17. So that'll be a gain of 3, and it'll be fourth down to go. Fourth and goal. 1 minute and 36 seconds to go here. The game on the line for the Viera Hawks. Rockledge Raiders defense needs one more stand.
The energy in this stadium right now.
Just about every fan standing up right now. 4th down to go. It's got to get in the end zone. Nelson rolls to his right. Pressure coming. Nelson's got to throw it toward the end zone. And we got a penalty flag on the back end. It's going to be pass interference.
Yes, it is.
Again, tough to argue that one because as the ball was arriving, Woodruff tripped.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, like, that's just the tough way the cookie crumbles as pass interference goes, and it will set up Vieira to replay 4th down and get a little closer. Still, the Rockledge Raiders with a chance to hold here. Ball on the 8. How much time? 30. I think we got 30 seconds left, I think.
1:30.
1 minute and 30 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. 4th down and goal to go for the Hawks. They need a touchdown here to tie it. Shotgun. Nelson rolling. Looking to find a receiver. Throws it. It's caught! Sean Hartman for a Viera Hawks touchdown!
Sean Hartman.
And we might be looking at overtime.
Oh, my. Look, the way he started this game, he dropped what would have been a touchdown back in the first quarter. He would go through all of that again if it meant getting that one.
So now the all-important and crucial. Oh, wait, no, Vieira's going for the win. Nelson looking to throw. Throws it inside, and the two-point conversion. Is it good? It is.
Yes, yes.
The Viera Hawks now lead 22-21.
Are you kidding me? And Hartman is down on the field.
Didn't see what happened to Hartman on that one. I didn't see who caught the two-point conversion either. That might have been Hartman. But what an ending to the ball game so far.
Oh, my gosh.
While they get things checked out, we're going to send it back to the studio. We got a thriller here on Brevard Sports Network. The Viera Hawks, not only did they get the touchdown that they needed to try and extend this game, they got the two-point conversion to go along with it. They now lead 22-21 against the Rockledge Raiders as we look at 1:23 to go here in the 4th quarter. And the Rockledge Raiders, well, Caleb, this is a great feeling for Viera Hawks fans. You get the feeling there might be some nerves too, because guess what? The Rockledge Raiders also got a sophomore quarterback that's been in this spot just last week.
At 100%. And guess what? You know the kicker is confident because you know what? He did the exact same thing last week.
37-yarder as we see Kramer back to kick this one off. Boot to leather. This one's deep, and it'll bounce into the end zone. First down and 20 for the Raiders.
Smart.
First down and 10 at the 20.
No time comes off the clock. Like I said, and you take over at the 20-yard line. Feasibly, they got to go 50 yards.
The receivers that I'm looking for, if I'm Watkins right now, I am looking for Mr. Matthew Ford. Had some big catches on the far sideline earlier in the game. I'm looking for my main man, Elijah Mitchell, as well. He had a touchdown earlier in the game, but it was called back because of a penalty. If I'm Watkins, I'm looking for those two guys here right now. 22-21. The Raiders trailing the Hawks for the first time here in the 4th quarter late. 1:23 to go. It all rides on a sophomore quarterback's shoulders for the Raiders. Man in motion. Watkins hands off on the jet sweep. That's to Gonzalez. And James Olsen, the linebacker, in on the stop. He's going to lose 2 yards. Back to the 18. Timeout taken by the Rockledge Raiders. This timeout brought to you by our good friends at Dean Stewart Photography.
Dean Stewart Photography. Dean Stewart Photography has been serving the Central Florida families for over 30 years. Their outstanding photography, quality products, and friendly service is what sets them apart from the rest. At Dean Stewart Photography, they strive to provide individualized attention to everyone they photograph, whether it's your child's first school picture day or graduation from high school or putting a sports uniform on. DSP will be there to capture every memory along the way. For more information, give them a call at 321-952-9876. Information at the bottom of your screen, folks.
2nd down and 12. Ball on the 18-yard line of the Raiders. Ball on the near side hash mark. 3 receivers to the far side. Matthew Ford, the receiver on that far sideline. Watkins, 3-step drop. Pressure coming from Veal. Watkins steps up, looking for a rainbow. And that one is intercepted. That was intercepted by Yanni Jean. Oh, no, they're calling it incomplete. Incomplete. Was that Jean or was that Jolly? No, I think that was Yanni Jean on that play. Actually, check. Yeah, I think that was Yanni Jean back there. So Watkins, again, looking for that deep post route. Almost had it. Quite the battle back there. Brings up 3rd down and 12.
This stadium is shaking.
We got a penalty flag that flies. It might be. Oh, it's offsides on the Viera Hawks. So that'll make 3rd down a little more manageable. We got 58 seconds. And I got a score update for you. The Merritt Island Mustangs just took the lead over the Cocoa Tigers, 17-10.
What a night of Friday Night Lights. Week 1, if this is the turn of the season, I'm going to love this season.
3rd down and 8. Ball on the 22 of Rockledge. Watkins, 3-step drop. Looks to step up. Now rolls to his right. He almost loses his footing. He's got to get away. And he's sacked. And that's big man, Sal Orlando. Brings up 4th down for the Rockledge Raiders.
Wow. Timeout by the Raiders. I mean, you want to talk about a game here? Obviously, a game at the O-Dome.
Rockledge Raiders take the timeout. Again, right now, this is about just getting the 1st down. I know the clock is low on them.
Yes.
But right now, you just need the 1st down.
Yes. 41 seconds.
41 seconds to go here. Could the Viera Hawks make the comeback all the way down from 14 and take a 22-21 win? You look at what's up next for both the Rockledge Raiders and the Viera Hawks. The Raiders, they've got O'Galley next week, Cardinal Mooney at Seabreeze, and then a bye week. The Rockledge Raiders, you kind of get the feeling, need this game a little bit more.
Yes.
Whereas the Viera Hawks, they've got Deltona at Astronaut and at Titusville. 4th down and 9. Ball needs to get to the 31 for a 1st down for the Raiders. 41 ticks to go. Watkins, plenty of time, but he's going to get chased by Sal Orlando. Sal Orlando lost his helmet in the process, and that will do it. The Viera Hawks will steal a W tonight here from the Rockledge Raiders.
Sal Orlando has made many big plays tonight, and defensively, he just made the biggest defensive play. And again, I will continue to sing his praises. About 45 minutes, maybe an hour after every game has gone off the air on the Brevard Sports Network. Keep it posted to the Brevard Sports Network. We will have a
post-game show. We're going to recap all of this madness.
Right now, the Viera Hawks can get into victory formation. And again, Caleb, I go back. Middle third quarter, Rockledge is rolling.
Yep.
They're on the one, and a miscue on 4th down and goal gives the Viera Hawks the ball at the 2, and Viera marches the rest of the way to get back to 1.
That was the ultimate turning point of this game.
And the Viera Hawks will win this one 22-21 over the Rockledge Raiders, and the Viera Hawks will win the backyard brawl for the first time since 2017.
Absolutely. Mr. Williams. I mean, look, what a game. We said we said we might have game of the night. We have competing games of the night because, look, the shocker that could be going down at the O-Dome in Merritt Island, Florida, is equally.
Yeah, we could be looking at a lot of different things here going forward as we wrap up the night. Again, the Viera Hawks with a big win, 22-21 over the Rockledge Raiders. And again, I'll tell you this much too, Caleb. The Raiders, it's not going to be a good feeling tonight.
No.
But, man, again, so much to build on for the
Yes.
Raiders.
And look, again, I was continue singing his praises. Sean Hartman, the roller coaster of a game Sean Hartman had all those drops in the again, dropped what would have been a touchdown, dropped another big first down catch, and then he gets one catch at the end of the first half. Then he capitalizes it, does not drop another ball in that second half, and ends up catching what turns out to be the game-winning touchdown, and what I believe that was a 2-point conversion as well.
We'll have to confirm on that one. But, again, Sean Hartman doing a lot of great things tonight. Eric Nelson doing a lot of great things tonight. Again, a ton of credit to Sal Orlando. I believe I got Sal Orlando for 3 sacks tonight,
Yes.
especially in this second half. And so a ton of credit all around for the Viera Hawks as they pick up win number 1 of this young 2025 season. As, again, Caleb mentioned it earlier, make sure you tune in. The post-game show is coming your way. I know the Merritt Island Mustangs and Cocoa Tigers, that game looks like it's still going on. I don't know how late that game is right now, but if you want to go check that out as that one wraps up, you can as well. Anthony Knockreiner, Caleb Brown, any final thoughts?
What a night, and I can't wait to recap everything. Join us tomorrow morning, starting with 7U action here on the Brevard Sports Network YouTube page as well. Youth football, the Palm Bay Rockets, and the SVYFL Hawks going at it in Pop Warner action.
So for your final tonight, the Viera Hawks 22, the Rockledge Raiders 21. I'm Anthony Knockreiner with Caleb